Joe Moujaes, Athletics Director of LAU, previous head coach of the under-18 national team, head coach of the Invincibles this year, Hommentmen, newly appointed head coach of the men's national team, and the new technical director of the newly launched Athletico Basketball Academy. I don't know where to start from.
Well, it was a good 2016 year, hopefully 2017 the same.
Year.
Yeah, thank you, same to you.
Congratulations to all these achievements.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be appointed the new men's national team?
Well, it's something we look for as coaches, as national coaches, to serve our country. I had the chance to serve the country, serve the national team for youth since 2011. So my aim was to build up junior team and then develop some players to reach the senior level. And now, since I'm the head coach of Hommentmen, I'm in the senior level, so coaching the national team was a target, and hopefully it's not only to be appointed as the success, we need to perform well, we need to put back Lebanon where it should be on the international level, and hopefully we can do this. So it's a pride for me personally and for the people who backed me up to reach this level.
You're heading soon for the WABA and you barely have time to prepare. What are your expectations?
Well, this is the advantage of a local national team head coach. You know the players. Our championship is very tough. So since the championship is tough, we can bring in the teams straight. It's the only selection and how you can meld up the team together to perform better. I guess I have 5-6 practices before we go to WABA in Jordan. And it's everything in mind, so we need to put the philosophy in place. We need to work on those small details, and I think we will have no problem getting the tournament.
What are your long-term plans for the national team? Do you think you can take it back to another World Cup?
World Championship, definitely. Especially now, it's a new challenge with a new qualification system. Australia and New Zealand joined Asia, so it's even harder, but we have 5 tickets to qualify instead of 3 tickets from Asia. So the qualification is tougher, and the channels to reach the World Championship is more challenging. So my aim is to go back to World Championship 2019.
Are we going to see new faces in the national team this year?
For sure, since our league is very competitive, as I said before, we got new talents rising in the league, and we need to point up on those talents. You're going to have veteran like Fadil Khatib leading the squad, and he accepted to join back the national team after he retired internationally to help the youngsters, to help Lebanon to go back on track. And he wants to retire as a world champion, as a world representative from Lebanon. This is a great message to all athletes. And I'm going to meld in new talents like most probably we're going to have Ali Mizhir joining the squad. We're going to have maybe Jad Khalil joining the squad. We're going to have Araqji, the rising star of Lebanon. We're going to have some talents to add up to the vet and lead the championship.
Who's going to be helping you managing the national team?
Actually, the federation has a committee. The committee assigned me as a head coach, and I'm going to assign my staff. We're going to have the fitness trainers already set. I'm going to have most probably Coach Vladan from Serbia helping me as the assistant coach, and we didn't appoint the scout yet. The physio is the regular physio of the national team, Khalil, so they're well rounded from every point.
Atletico has been known to be the best, maybe, football academy in Lebanon or maybe the region.
And in the region.
And now with you, they're launching, or we're launching, since I'm also a partner, we're launching the basketball academy. Why Atletico?
Okay, let me tell you from what I see. I wanted to do or partner with academies to raise, after I finished my journey with the national team for the juniors. I didn't join any academies before or develop players before because it was a conflict of interest. Now I realized that I've seen Atletico raising stars from the beginning, from the very bottom to where it is right now. It's like an empire in football in Lebanon and in the region. Everybody, when you say Atletico, they forget about Atletico Madrid and they remember Atletico Lebanon. So I have the experience from the youth, which I recruit to the university, to LAU. And I know that with this administration, with this facility, with this know-how, how to develop elements to reach the goal, and with my technical know-how, we will add a mix, and for sure this mix will lead to success.
Where are you going to be starting? Where is it going to be located? And how is your expansion plan?
Exactly. We're starting in 2 locations, one in Hooligan, Sin El Fil, and one in St. Joseph, Ernest Chahwain. We're starting slowly but surely. We're having a great staff with me. I'm leading the program. I have coaches from Serbia, and I have the most sophisticated strength and conditioning coach coming from the University of Miami, Amir Aid. He's helping us to start from the bottom, 5, 6 years old, start working out the ABC of basketball, the development of skills, and the development of the muscular skeleton for the kids to grow in a healthy environment.
And football, Athletico is linked to Olympique Lyonnais, and they're giving the chance to players to make it to professional level if they have what it takes. Do you think we can offer this to the kids later in the future?
That's evident. That should be evident, I say. When we settle everything here, when we start proving that we're growing and growing fast, as I said before, we don't want to jump phases. We're in phase number 1. We don't want to go quick, because when you go quick, you start making mistakes, and this is an experience that we learn. For sure, I have connections throughout in Europe, especially in Serbia, in London. For sure, we're gonna, do those small things for the athletes. Maybe not to target big names now, but we have to go to develop players, and this is our aim. This is our vision, to develop players and alienate them from silly things, from gamings, and from, we have so many things in the country that the kids shouldn't be there, so we want to bring them to the healthy environment.
I agree. We have a lot of Lebanese talents, but we have never seen a Lebanese player making it far or maybe on the professional level. What is missing to see maybe eventually a Lebanese player making it to the high European level or to the NBA?
Definitely. It's very simple. The formula is very simple. In Lebanon, the league is very competitive, and the league pays a lot for the local players. So eventually, the local players prefers to stay home and get paid a big chunk of money instead of going to Europe and getting paid less. If we got some players drafted to the Euro level, like Araji, some other players, but they prefer to stay home and earn more money. But I would say, if we start early, like professional developments, like we're doing in Athletico, if we start early, like 5, 6 years kid, we develop him the right way, especially strength and conditioning, technical, for sure he will have room in international competitions.
You're a father also. Why would you tell parents to choose Athletico over anything else?
Well, the first thing a father would say and will look for is the safety. You need to know that the environment is safe. You don't want to put your kids anywhere. So this is a big thing. And unfortunately, some parents are sending their kids anywhere. So my kid, I want to send him to a safe place where the coaching staff is licensed. They don't do mistakes with kids. And we know what will happen when things go wrong. You can jeopardize the development of your kid. Plus, the know-how of doing things. You want to send your kid to a place where you know that they will develop and become competitive. And most importantly, the peer group. We want to send our kids to a group that is healthy, competitive, and from our surrounding. So this is the mix of success. That's why I'm putting my son in Athletico.
We're going to move to Hommentmen. You're the undefeated so far.
So far.
What's the secret? Do you think you can continue with that?
The secret is to be modest, to be hard worker, every time do the same thing, follow your systematic routines, not to say that, oh yeah, I won 7-0 and that's easy, we're going to cruise all the way, and this is when you do mistakes. Okay, you're going to drop one day. It's very rare to be undefeated all the season. We're going to drop. We're working to manage our crisis if crisis happens. So we planned ahead of the season what will work, what will not work, and we tested them in pre-seasons. We won the Hariri tournament. We failed in the Shell Hoop tournament. We adjusted, we cruised, and now we're doing well. We have a very important game on Sunday. This is, a test for our team. Hopefully we pass the test and we'll still be undefeated all through this first round.
You're serious contenders for the title. Was that your aim and your first goal?
Usually last year, our aim was to reach the Final Four. We reached the Final Four. The management was happy. I wasn't happy. I wanted to reach more. This is, an individual hunger, as we can say it. I wanted to reach more, put the team on the top. But it happened that we got short-handed in the playoffs last year, and we lost against Riyadh 4-2. This year, we started correcting things. We added on our roster talents that can be great support from the bench. We recruited youngsters who are hungry to win, who can meld in the group. We succeeded. And finally, we added a great addition, which is Fad Al-Khatib, to give to the young group a veteran spice that can lead them in clutch time to finish games. We've been succeeding, and hopefully we continue. Now we're serious contenders. We know that we will be serious contenders. But I'm telling you, even we're 7-0, but our feet's on the ground, we're focused, and we're ready to go to game 8.
All right, good luck with that. I'm going to be asking you quick, curious questions.
Go ahead. Shoot.
Who's your favorite Lebanese player?
Fad Al-Khatib.
Who's your favorite international player?
Wow, that's nice. I would say you wouldn't know him. He's not known. He's not in the NBA. He's in the EuroLeague. But I say it's Guduric. He's young. He's 20 years old. He plays for Red Star Belgrade. He's not known, but he will be the rising star there.
Sure, we're going to choose someone from the
Exactly.
So who's your best player in the NBA?
Kevin Durant.
Who's your favorite NBA team?
Cavaliers.
Who's the best athlete of all time?
You see the contradiction? I'm with Kevin Durant and I'm with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not. What was the second question?
Who's your best athlete of all time?
Michael Jordan. He's our dream.
If it wasn't you, who would you have appointed as a national team coach?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say Marwan Khalil.
Okay. Who's the future Fad Al-Khatib of Lebanon?
I would say I've been around, but I don't see someone coming. I thought of Ahmad Brahim that he can replace him. Hopefully he will do, but I would say Wael Araji can be a great player.
Who's the best foreigner this season?
For me, it's Dwayne Jackson by far. He plays for me.
Who's the best player that ever played in Lebanon?
Who's the best player who ever played in Lebanon? Wow, that's nice. I would say Tony Madison.
Okay. Who's your role model?
My father.
Who do you learn your coaching techniques from?
Well, it's a mix, but mostly from Jelko Obradovic, a Serbian coach who coaches Fenerbahce now.
If you had to choose the best lineup in history from Lebanon, who would be your starting five?
That would be the lineup that I will choose for the national team right now. I would say Wael Araji to start, Fad Al-Khatib on the 2 or 3, John Abdul Noor on the 3, Haik on the 4, and Majouk on the 5. So that would be the starting lineup of the national team.
Pick anybody from like the 90s or
so you mean like, okay, I will go straight. I'll go Bulus, Pshara. I will go Fadi. I'll go Elim Shentaf. I will go Elif Ouez on 4. And I will go on 5, maybe Suhail Safar.
Wow, you went really back.
Yeah.
If you had the chance to bring any Lebanese player now to your team, who would it be?
Wael Araji.
I knew that.
Yeah.
If not Hommentmen, what's the team you would like to coach?
Actually, I'm very happy in Hommentmen, and I'm not diplomatic, but I feel I want to go one day home, and I say I started from Sagesse, and I will end up in Sagesse.
Okay. Who are the best Lebanese players this season?
This season, Fad is doing great, Araji is great, Mizhir is great, and John Abdul Noor is always stable. But I would say, all in all, it's Fad Al-Khatib right now.
Who's your favorite actress?
Actress, Angelina Jolie.
Who's your favorite sports presenter?
You, definitely you. Definitely
you.
you.
So much for
Thank
this
you. It
interview.
was lovely.
Lots
Thank
of,
you.
Everything you have a lot of
Tasks,
achievements already
yeah.
done and a lot to come. So thank you so much.
Great.
For this
Thank
interview.
you.
And
Yalla,
we're happy to
taking.
have you on the
Ciao.